All right.
Hello there to all you bucket heads, and welcome to any new farm hands, moisture farmers. This is another episode of the most disorganized podcast on the internet, Under the Helmet Podcast. Welcome back, everybody. And by
Welcome
welcome
back
back,
to them. Welcome back to you, man. I
I
missed
mean
you.
me. I mean me. But yeah, so vacation was fun. It was a good time, but I'm
There we
I'm
go.
happy to be back. The boys are in fact back in town. And we are here to talk about the movie that started it all. Because honestly, if that movie didn't exist, there might not be an Under the Helmet podcast. There
That's a
might
fair
not
point.
be a lot of things that we enjoy. There'd be no Clone Wars. There'd be no Rebels. There'd be no Empire Strikes Back. Where would the world be without A New Hope?
There
That's for
would.
people who are way smarter than us. I have a different opening question I want to ask.
All right. Lay it on me.
If you could go to the cantina and have some drinks with any character in Star Wars, who would it be and why?
Ooh. Ooh. This is a tough question. So I get to pick anybody to go to the
Any
cantina for a drink.
character, canon, legends. And if you are watching along after the fact, put it in the chat or put it in the comments and we will answer it. Let us know who you want, who you would pick.
Mm. Mm. Okay. Ooh, this is a tough one. Have you got an answer for this already?
Nope.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna say this right now, and I'm only gonna say this once. For my trip, to Cantina for drinks, it's gonna be Padme Amidala. I'm shooting my shot.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
Interesting.
I'm gonna try it.
Interesting. Very brave but foolish of you.
Ooh,
Callahan,
Cal's got a good pick.
Callahan's saying he's gonna go with Kanan. I don't know though. I don't know if Kanan would drink because after Order 66, he did have a bout of alcoholism. So true fact. So he might not drink. Who knows? Me, on the other hand, I think I would have a grand time drinking with one of these two characters. It's a tie.
Okay. Okay.
First one would be Lando Calrissian.
Ooh. Oh, that's
I
gotta be a
mean,
good time.
how could you not go drinking with Lando? He's got the absolute swagger. He's got the moves, baby. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So either Lando or Hondo.
Oh, you know. Okay, Hondo's one of those people that I feel like if you go drinking with Hondo, you either end up having the time of your life or just getting absolutely fucked up.
There's only one issue I feel about drinking with Hondo versus drinking with Lando.
Was that?
Because Lando's a stand-up gentleman, okay? He's not
Mhm.
going to take you to some cheap establishment. No, we're going to go to the best place in the galaxy, baby. Let me tell you. So he's going to take me out. We're going to have a grand old time. And Lando, gentleman that he is, would not let me pay the bill. Hondo, on the other hand, we'd
You're like,
go
oh,
out.
my friend, I'm a little shy of credits.
We would run up a gigantic tab, and Hondo would be like, "My friend, let me tell you, I have to use the little pirate's room. I will be back." And then he will run away and leave me with like a 600 credit tab.
Oh yeah.
He
Oh,
would do
that
it in a heartbeat.
a 600 credit tab is being like gentle.
Well, like
And
Lando's
we drink.
600 credit tab would come from like us just chilling on the Galactic Star Cruiser
That's a fair point.
because those
Wish I
drinks
could be
are
chilling on the
very
Galactic
expensive.
Star Cruiser one day.
Like Hondo and I, we would go to like Junix's joint or something like that. Somewhere on like Underworld Coruscant. He would run up a tab that high and then he would just dip.
Yeah.
He would say, I know a place. And he would take you to the most sketched out like bar
He
you've ever
takes
been to
you
in your life.
he takes you to the Gary, Indiana of Star Wars.
Yes. Not to worry, my friend. They love me here. When he's
Hondo,
when he's on
no.
the do not enter list.
Oh, Cal, that's being too kind to Hondo. Dexter
No,
Jetzers is a fine establishment.
Obi-Wan would take you to Dexter's.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
that's
He would
Hondo.
come back after you pay the bill. Or if you like waited for him, he's done it so many times. He's kind of like, "Oh, would you look at that? I seem to have left my credit pouch in my other pants. I'll get it out of the ship. I'll be right back."
And then moments later, you hear the sound of hyperdrive engines firing.
Exactly. Hondo would dine and dash.
Oh,
Absolutely.
100%. 100%.
I was thinking about that today while rewatching A New Hope, seeing the cantina scene. I was like, who would I want to have a drink with in Star Wars?
I will.
Oh yeah, no, he would definitely be your ride there and then leave you.
Oh yeah. How else is he going to make sure that you don't come back to collect? He's not left you stranded on this planet.
He would
You're
like
going to have to be
left you with
washing
the
dishes.
tab. He would be like, left you with the tab. Oh no, my friend. You see, I had to go off world because I had to get more credits, you see. I was coming right back and you made me wait. And when I arrived at the establishment, you were gone.
But the tab was paid, so I appreciate that very much.
My friend. But Hondo would have great stories to tell. But then
he
again,
would.
so would Lando.
This is true, and Lando's stories don't end with you, getting stuck washing dishes at the end of the night. I don't want to get Gregored.
Exactly. No, thank you. But anyways, we are here talking about A New Hope today. So I want to kind of start. When was the first time you saw A New Hope?
First time I saw A New Hope, I was at my grandparents' house. I was late to the punch. I think I was like 10, 11. It was still on VHS tape though.
Yep.
So I had to rewind it from the last watch. But it was the box set of the original trilogy, which at the time was just the Star Wars movies when those were released, which it just said the Star Wars trilogy. And, we get out the box set and we pop it in. I'm just sitting there on the couch and it was amazing. I think my grandma had made like chicken and mac and cheese for dinner. It was awesome. And then the next day we just sat and watched Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi for that afternoon. It was awesome.
Nice. See, I think my first time watching A New Hope, I don't remember because I was so young. My grandparents, I've told the story on here before, but my grandparents were tired of watching The Wiggles and Barney because I was like 2.
Yep.
And they're like, "Hey, you want to see a different movie?" And I was like, "Sure." And then they put on Star Wars. And I'm sure it was the first one because that's where they would start me. They would definitely start me with the first one. And because that was the first one that they saw, and they would they went to the theater and they actually saw it when it came out in 77. So I'm going to tell my dad's story here, but he and my uncle, because my grandparents had 3 kids, my dad, my uncle, my dad, and then my aunt. Well, they went and they had to make a deal. So they could watch Star Wars, but because my aunt had to sit through Star Wars, so they had to sit through Little Orphan Annie. And to this day, they both say it was worth it. So,
oh yeah, it was Star Wars. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's such a great movie. Like I went back and I rewatched it today, and I was like, this movie, which has had such a profound effect on my life, You know, I'll go back and I watch it, and I'm still recognizing things. Like I was watching it, and I could have sworn in one shot in the trash compactor, I saw a stormtrooper helmet, and I was like, "Is that a new thing? Is that a special edition thing? Is it like was it added in there?" Like it was very much blink and you miss it.
Also, I don't know if you can hear it, but your audio sounds a little different.
Huh.
Oh, now we're good.
Okay. Weird.
I think you were just talking away from your mic for a sec. I
Weird.
wanna talk about what is it? We got some audience responses. Callahan, 8 to 10 years old, sisters both out of the house for some reason, and he and his parents got to watch the entire original trilogy in one sitting. That sounds amazing, Cal. That sounds really good. Knowing your parents as well, that had to have been fun. Magic Gabby. So I have been catching Gabby up on Star Wars movies as best I can. We did just finish A New Hope like last week.
Nice.
So we're currently in the middle of Empire Strikes Back. We've been having to watch it in bits and pieces. Just because we'll start watching it. I think it's roughly going to bed. Something like that.
Somebody would fall asleep.
Somebody does occasionally fall asleep.
Come on, Gabby. Stay awake. Goodness gracious. All right, but I have to ask, Gabby, what did you think? As we sit here in silence and wait.
But at the same time, I want to take this opportunity to, plug this delightful comment. Because Kyle mentioned that one of his sisters refuses to watch any Star Wars to this day. And this little comment warms my heart.
That's awesome. You know, my sister used to watch Star Wars with us as a kid. She loved the Clone Wars. She loved Ahsoka. So going through and watching that, you know, with her was cool because that was for her was Star Wars. And Star Wars is, which, you know, started with A New Hope, has grown so much farther than A New Hope.
Oh, yeah.
But it's always nice to see things that tie back to it. Like, for example, there's a lot of things in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, like this, because I just rewatched it today. And rewatching it after Obi-Wan Kenobi was different. Because, you know, when Leia stands up and she goes, Ben Kenobi, and she's all excited.
Oh,
you get to see why she's excited. And when you see, you know, when Obi-Wan calls Vader Darth, you get to see that. And, you know, only a master of evil, Darth, you know, stuff like that. And then the way he talks to and about Luke, and Luke recognizes Ben Kenobi. So it's not like they haven't met before. And I think the way canon was always kind of set up, it was kind of seen like, oh, he's just taking like a wild guess, versus, you know, he meets him at the end of Obi-Wan and it's, you know, hello there, and Luke's looking at him like, you got games on your phone?
Yeah, iPad kid behavior.
Yeah. Peak iPad kid.
But we've got Gabby's response.
Yes.
So I do get very excited and occasionally be like, oh, and this is this thing and this is this thing, which sometimes people who watch Star Wars maybe will find annoying. I try and like read the crowd depending on the person, but Gabby really likes when I do that, so it's really cool because I have somebody who encourages the way that I get excited about things, and even better, that's my partner. So
I know, that's such an amazing thing. And then, like, I remember recently for like those little things that you pick out, like, you know, things that mean absolutely nothing to you or mean absolutely nothing to like the common person, but when you watch it, you're like, oh, that's this, and it's explained here, and you know. And because Star Wars is such a big and such an interconnected universe, it's really cool to get to see. And the dialogue in A New Hope, I have to say, is incredibly vague.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the whole point of the story was to start in medias res, which is as the story is going. So there's so much that happens in this movie that you can infer happened just by the dialogue in this movie. Like, you know, a lot of people talk about Alec Guinness's, you know, the way he would talk about the Clone Wars, you know, I was once a Jedi Knight, same as your father. He was the best star pilot, you know, all that. But people don't talk about as much is like the stories that like Han Solo tells through, you know, kid, I've been from one side of this galaxy to the other. I've seen a lot of strange stuff, but there's nothing that makes me think there's one all powerful force controlling everything. There's nothing controlling my destiny. It's all a bunch of simple tricks and nonsense. Also, the past between him and Greedo, which a little bit of a plug. I just finished the 3 issues of the Han Solo comic, which were really good. And Han actually goes on a mission with Greedo. And Greedo's incompetence kind of gets him in a little bit of a sticky situation. I won't delve too deeply into spoilers because the run's still ongoing.
Okay.
But it was really interesting to see that. And then when Greedo's like, you know, I've wanted to blast you for, you know, but he's kind of like, you know, I've waited a long time for this. And Han's like, yeah, I bet you have, you know. And then the little connections with Solo, where he talks about the Kessel Run, and you know, there's so much of this movie that ties into other Star Wars media, and it's
You want
because of the intentional vagueness of everything.
now? You talk about Han. You talk about the Kessel Run. Have you read the Legends Han Solo book trilogy?
I have not.
So I had it hardcover. Used to call it my Han Solo Bible. It's about this big, blue cover with the Millennium Falcon right on the
Hibble.
front in silver. Yeah, the Hibble, the Han Solo Bible, the Sybil.
The Hibble.
But in that, so parsecs, as we all know, are a unit of distance, not of time, which works in the Solo movie because they literally just cut the route short through a shortcut. In the Han Solo trilogy, the Maw is not a big like creature. It's a series of black holes. It's a ring of black holes, and you have to go around that ring of black holes. Han Solo trilogy, he goes through those black holes and bends space time in on itself. So instead of the Falcon going like this across the line goes like this, the Falcon goes like this, and does it in a shorter amount of time because time and space literally bends in on itself, which also takes a massive toll on the Falcon because you're not supposed to do that.
So, and a parsec is unit. You said it's a unit of distance, not a unit of time, correct?
It is, yes.
Yeah. Well, also, what I found interesting wasn't the Maw in Legends revealed to have something to do with Abeloth?
Maybe I know nothing about Abeloth. I'm
Good.
just gonna be completely honest. I know
Top
nothing about
10 Star
Abeloth.
Wars top 5 Star Wars characters that should never become canon. Number 1, number 2, Starkiller. Number 3, Mara Jade. Just kidding. It's a joke.
Okay.
No,
but yes, Callahan, the Falcon does sort of become a time machine. It's more so it's hard to explain. The machine moves through time, but the machine does not intentionally move through time. It's very confusing, but
also,
yes, sort of.
I want to pull up Callahan's comment real quick. Hello there does originate in this film.
Yes, it does.
But there's also another line that's in this film. And if you notice, Obi-Wan kind of winces at. It's not intentional, but you know, it could have just been him wincing at the situation. But right as the Star Destroyers are chasing them out of Mos Eisley, Han says, "Here's where the fun begins."
And he winces at that. Oh.
This movie hurts. The problem is, the more you learn about Star Wars, the more and more A New Hope hurts. Like, it stops becoming a light space romp, and it's just, oh, they're like really sad. And then the story of when Vader and Obi-Wan meet is super interesting because we kind of touched on this in our Kenobi episodes. But it was, you know, how, you know, their dialogue is pretty vague, you know. When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master. Only a master of evil, It's very much like they're taunting each other the whole time. But what's interesting is the way Vader talks to like Tarkin about Obi-Wan. Because he knows Obi-Wan survives. He knows Obi-Wan is alive and Obi-Wan's out there. And the way Tarkin talks about him, because it's been 9 years. And Tarkin goes, well, surely he's dead by now. And Vader's like, don't underestimate the Force. Like, he's like, don't underestimate the Force. Yes, so their training fight in Kenobi not only resembles Revenge of the Sith, but it also resembles their training fight in the earlier episode of the series. Also, shout out to Decay real quick. We will talk.
I was going to say this is a new friend
We will
of
talk
ours.
about them in a little bit. There is a big announcement coming. I'm going to bring it up in news and rumors, but I definitely wanted to talk about it. So,
okay,
welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show. A little bit of a plug to stay until news and rumors.
Stay till news and rumors.
What's interesting about A New Hope is that there's so many, like, if you had just seen A New Hope, have not seen any other Star Wars movies, there's so many characters that you miss out on. Like, you miss out on, I named from the beginning, Lando Calrissian. A little bit later of an addition, but Ahsoka. There's so many other characters that come up, and like Callahan says, I miss Carrie Fisher. I miss her so much.
Carrie Fisher.
Seeing her performance in this movie again was just like heartbreaking. Every time I watch it now, I definitely have that little like twinge in my heart. Yes, we cannot forget the good old Glup Shido. So, Eli, who's your favorite Glup Shido in this episode? Because I have mine. I'll give you a second to think about your favorite Glup Shido from A New Hope, and I will tell you mine.
Oh my god, sorry. It's been a while since anyone hit me with that term. Oh my god.
I'm on Star Wars TikTok. I see it like every other day. It doesn't affect me the same.
Sorry, I feel like we need to explain Glup Shido for those who don't know. Because not all of our viewers know.
So Eli, what is a Glup Shido?
So,
do you want to describe it or do you want me to describe it?
You describe it. I'm a little rusty on this one.
Okay, so basically a Glup Shido is a Star Wars character, is a background character in Star Wars that has very little to no relevance on the actual plot, but is yet a fan favorite character. Peak example of this, Boba Fett. Contributes very little to Boba Fett pre Return of the Jedi. Because think about it. He doesn't really do much in Empire Strikes Back. He just kind of stands around, looks cool. Actually, no. Better example of this, Dengar.
Even better example of this, Will Rohood.
Yes.
The guy with the ice cream maker who runs fast.
Yes, that's exactly. So when you're thinking Glup Shido, you're thinking of a character that has a name and sometimes has a story, but is only in there for a very brief glimpse. Another good example of this is Max Rebo.
Yes.
IG-88 I'd count IG-88 as a Glup Shido.
Literally any of the bounty hunters that are not Boba in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Boba is I can't in my heart of hearts count Boba as a Glup Shido.
He was at first, but his popularity took him out of Glup Shido-ness. Like, for example, if you walked up to somebody who's a typical Star Wars, a casual Star Wars fan who's seen like maybe the movies, The Mandalorian, and you're like, oh yeah, what about a Will Rohood guy? They're gonna be like, who? So if the average viewer looks at you and goes, who? That's how you know someone's a glup shido. So my personal favorite glup shido from this movie is TK421.
Yeah.
Exactly. TK421 is a stormtrooper on the Death Star. He is the only stormtrooper that is given a designation out loud. And he is the one that is standing guard outside of the Millennium Falcon, who is, when Han yells, "Hey down there, can we use a hand with this?" They walk up and he gets killed, and I think Luke takes his armor. That is TK421. But if you read the book A Certain Point of View, we find out that TK421 is actually gay. And his lover is an Imperial officer. While it is never explicitly named who he is, it is highly implied to be Grand Moff Tarkin. My favorite Club Shido.
Okay. Damn.
Lore dump.
Big Lord.
Also, TK421 helped me win a gift card at a Star Wars trivia night recently. So.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was. You still thinking over there? Do you want me to tell the?
I think I got one.
All right, let's hear it. Hear your glub shido.
It's gonna be Labria.
All right, Labria. Who is that?
They are the Deveronian who like smiles in that one shot of the cantina.
All right. So here's the thing about A New Hope in the cantina.
They have a Lego minifigure now.
They all have names. They all have names.
Yeah, 100%.
Every 100% single one of them has a name and a detailed Wikipedia backstory.
Yep. Okay, his is admittedly kind of short. It's like a page. Though I think I was on the canon slide. The legend slide probably has a fucking like essay. He probably has his own book out there somewhere. Whether it's fan fiction or not remains to be seen.
Yep.
But I have a lot of love in my heart for Deveronians. I actually have a fan fiction of one of my own who was actually a tabletop character, who I plan to one day bring forth and hell, maybe read on stream. Maybe we'll have like a fan fiction night where we bring people on to read their stories. That'd be cool. I'd be down for that. But yeah.
Favorite Twi'lek is Glub Shido is the Twi'lek from Book of Boba Fett. Are you talking Garsa Fwip?
Or like one of the other two Twi'leks.
Yeah.
Who are like working with Garsa Fwip.
Or the Major Domo.
Oh, the the one that's isn't he now with Pelimoto?
Pelimoto could be a Glup Shido.
Could be. I feel like she's gotten quite a bit of prominence.
I would argue Asajj Ventress could be considered a Glup Shido.
I don't know about that one. Just because like she was in so much of the Clone Wars.
She was. But I was talking with somebody the other day at work I was reading Brotherhood. Shout out to Brotherhood by Mike Chen. I just finished that book. Absolutely amazing. Okay. Love it. 10 out of 10. I'm gonna reread it. I only cried 3 times. I need to get those numbers up. But there's Ventress appears in that book.
Okay.
And I was sitting there talking with this guy who's a Star Wars fan, but he only watches the live action stuff.
Oh, that's a mistake, but okay.
Yeah. Well, I asked him, have you seen Clone Wars? Have you seen Rebels? He's like, no, not really. I only really watch the live action stuff. So if you haven't seen the Clone Wars, you have no idea who Asajj Ventress is.
You're also making a big mistake.
Absolutely, I agree. No, I told him I was like, I think you should watch it, especially with like Ahsoka and stuff coming out. Like, you definitely want to watch Clone Wars. So maybe I've convinced him.
with
see.
all the stuff coming out, you need to watch Clone Wars. You need to watch Rebels. I've still not seen Resistance. I probably should.
Yeah, I've been reading. I've also started reading Shadow of the Sith, which is pretty good. Admittedly, Brotherhood is a very hard act to follow, but I'm giving it a chance.
All right. All right.
Yeah, Brotherhood is just amazing. It's such a good book. I could.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. Also, leave in the comments down below if you would like for me to see, if you would like to see a full video review on Brotherhood, let us know. I put a poll on our Instagram story, but the only people who answered were me and my sister, and I answered 3 times. So definitely check that out. And also, while we're here and we're doing the call to action plug, don't forget to like this video, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget also join our Discord because I might actually put a poll up in the Discord and see. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Now, there's something I want to touch on when talking about A New Hope. It's unavoidable with how many times it's happened now, but we need to talk about the special editions.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about. Never mind.
I mean, so everybody here has probably seen the movie, or at least knows what happens. So we don't really need to cover the plot. We know what happens, but I want to talk about like the special editions, but leaving out one crucial element. We'll cover that in its own little bit, and that is Han shooting first. But let's talk about some of the other special edition changes because there's little things like, for example, the lightsaber color changes. So if you watch the theatrical release of A New Hope, the lightsaber actually looks, Luke's lightsaber looks a little bit more cyan. It doesn't look as much as blue as it does. Because when I was rewatching it today on Disney Plus, that sucker was blue. Like there was no doubt about it. It was blue. But when I was watching it, because I've seen the theatrical version for years. I used to watch it on VHS. And I remember being so confused as a kid, specifically with the Jabba the Hutt scene. Because for the longest time, I thought Jabba was just some fat dude.
He was in the original shooting of that scene.
Because here's the thing, and I liked the idea that, they kind of explain it with saying, this guy isn't Jabba, but he's like a regent for Jabba. Yeah, and I agree with Callahan. He does look way too CG, and he looks really goofy, especially with the like really good version on Disney Plus. It's kind of like, ooh, bro, you look haunting. Looks really CG. Like when you watch it on like the DVD version, it doesn't look bad. Like, but just something about watching it on Disney Plus, I was like,
everything else is so crisp.
I know. And they also added Boba Fett in. And don't get me wrong,
they did add Boba Fett.
Seeing Boba Fett in the movie, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But also, you can tell they filmed that shit in front of a green screen. It was so obvious. Yeah. And I mean, here's the thing. I'm not hating. Good on him. Always nice to see Boba Fett. Always nice to see, George Lucas pushing the boundaries of what can be done. And I have to say, the dialogue works. I mean,
yeah,
it's a scene I have to read, which, it could be worse. But I do like the line. I think it's a lot better when Han goes, Jabba, you're a wonderful human being. I think that's just I think that's hilarious.
I like that line.
Especially and here's the thing. There was an easier solution. Make Jabba a hologram. Because here's the thing. The Jabba we see in this movie versus the Jabba we see in Return of the Jedi. Jabba, I'm concerned for your health, friend. That man put on some IBS, if you know what I'm saying.
Some pounds.
Jabba put on. He was eating way too many frogs, hanging out with too many Twi'lek girls. Bro needs to be, because in this one he looks like really skinny and kind of gassed. Versus in Return of the Jedi, that man is big, thick. He is a chonky boy.
A chunky slug.
He do be chonky though, low key, high key.
High key chunky.
He be high key chonky. Versus in this one, I don't know. He just doesn't look as intimidating as he does in Return of the Jedi. But that's just me. But yeah, that scene was a little goofy. But it does. I do like the "You're a wonderful human being" line, because then you could keep the original actor in there, which I think he did a great job. And then, there's also little things that Lucas added, like he put a dewback in one of the scenes.
Yes.
He put a scene of a stormtrooper climbing off of a dewback, which looks really noticeable. Like when Lucas did some of the special editions, he did his best for what he had at the time, and it looked good at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's just that I'm older now and I see things differently, but some of the things I see are just like, ooh, buddy, what were we doing here? It was a swing and a miss. And the problem is, I think if he had left most of it alone, maybe brighten up the colors on the sabers and, but other than that, the movie was fine as it is. All right. Callahan says, but you know who stayed? Who stayed, Callahan? The bonk on the door. Yes. No, the bonk on the door was very important. Absolutely. So the bonk came in. That was required. I actually think they made it louder in the Disney version.
They did. They 100% did, because it was not
so
that loud.
Because I was half paying attention when that scene came through, and it was a click. I was like, okay, I know what scene's going on here.
Just bonk.
Which, shout out to that. See, little things like that I enjoy. Or maybe, putting the big monster thing and driving down Mos Eisley, it makes it look a little bit more populated than it did in the original.
Yeah. I like Big Monster.
So there's little things like that I kind of dig. But now we need to get to the good old controversy of who shot first.
Ooh.
And my answer to this is very simple.
Mm-hmm.
I go the Harrison Ford method. I don't care.
The Harrison Ford method is I wish George Lucas would die.
It just made me think. I want to give a huge shout out to the 1313 podcast. They did a really funny bit on one of their recent episodes where they talked about what Harrison Ford said about George Lucas. And now it was really funny because I was sitting there listening to it, and they made it sound at first like it was a real thing Harrison Ford would say, but then they started going off like, George, I'm coming for you. I'm going to slide into your walls and skin you. Like, it was hilarious. So shout out to 1313 podcast. You guys are hilarious with that one. That bit made me laugh. People thought they were being serious. Like, they had to go in their next episode and answer and be like, guys, it was a joke. Harrison Ford did not really say in an interview that he was going to slither like a snake into George Lucas's home and then skin him for ruining his life. That was Carrie Fisher. Now, Carrie had a really funny joke about she had some great jokes about Star Wars in this movie. I love the one where she was talking. Wilhelm Scream is in. I thought Wilhelm Scream was in Force Awakens.
Where?
We'll get back to that, but I want to get back to the Han shoots first, Greedo shoots first. I understand why Han shot first at first. It made sense. He was a character who was very roguish, and you wanted his it made his turn at the end more of a surprise. When the guy who only looked out for himself, I'm in this for the money. I don't care about your revolution, princess. It made his return at the end a lot more of like a heroic moment. But with Han shooting first, or no, Greedo shooting first, it makes sense because okay, Han's acting in self-defense here. Besides, and I mean, you could even argue with Han shooting first that he was still acting in self-defense because Greedo had his blaster pointed at Han already on top of the table. He was
I
already threatening him. Because
I think
Go ahead.
I think the final Beckett's biggest lesson in Solo definitely shows a good bit there.
Absolutely.
The bit where
I
they're on the beaches of Savareen, and he's like, "Now, boy, I'm going to teach you a lesson that you're never going to." Then he crumples over. And one thing I think people don't pay attention to with Solo is that scene for me draws a direct parallel to Maul and Obi-Wan's final duel in Rebels.
Yes.
Because after their opponent is slain, they both go and hold them in their last dying moments.
Exactly. They show compassion to them at the end.
Mm-hmm. Even from Han to Beckett. Like that wasn't a very like compassion-filled relationship.
Right, but Beckett was a mentor to Han, whether he wanted to admit it or not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I feel like people don't draw that that connection as much, mainly just because people, when it was coming out, Solo wasn't given the chance that it deserved. I'm just going to be completely honest, and some people still haven't given Solo the chance.
Make Solo 2 happen, please.
Make Solo 2 happen, absolutely. We're past the 15-minute mark. I can say the fuck word.
Hell yeah!
Make Solo 2 happen, please. I'm begging you. I will get on my hands and knees. I'll do a fun little jig for you. Whatever it takes, please just make Solo 2 happen. It would make me very happy.
Agreed. All right.
Anyway,
I want to wrap up and kind of talk about two things that I really wanted to touch on after watching this movie.
Okay.
Number one is the space battle. Because let me just say, that scene holds up till this day. It is one of the most beautiful battle scenes in all of fiction. It was absolutely beautiful. Just watching the whole, just watching everything go down, it was just a beautiful thing. And then you get to see the pilots, you get to see them slowly get taken out. You see Darth Vader show up, and it was just beautiful. It was a beautiful through and through. The chatter over the comms. I also love
I love the little discourse we're getting in chat about the Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, so
we got first use in the Western days. Cal pulled up the freaking receipts. Like
get the chatter red
slams here.
But yeah, I also love the fact that crap. Where is I going with this? Oh yeah, I love the fact that like this movie has such little comedy moments in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny, believe it or not. This movie has so much comedy in it, but it's baked in. Like all of 3PO and R2's relationship is just comedic.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%.
I mean, you've got your verbal humor. You've got your no. I don't think he likes you at all. I don't like you either. He's got the smacking him on the head. I mean, he's like, R2's like, let's go this way. And he's like, no, this way is much safer. And then he goes off, R2 tricked me into going this way. Little things like that. This movie is funny. So when people say like, and here I go, putting on my Last Jedi Defender hat. But when people are like, the humor in The Last Jedi doesn't make any sense. Have you not watched A New Hope? That movie is ridiculously funny. Not to mention all the times all the little quips Han has to Luke about listen, you wanna when they're flying the ship out and Luke's like, I thought you said this thing was fast. He said, better watch your mouth, kid, you'll be floating home. Or traveling through hyperspace ain't like dusting crops. There's so much in this movie that's funny, and that's the other thing I want to take away from is that this movie has some great comedy in it. So
absolutely,
don't sleep on A New Hope. Don't do it.
I feel like a lot of people get caught up with Empire Strikes Back, what with most people regarding it as the best Star Wars movie. Though there's this big movement for Revenge of the Sith nowadays. I'm seeing a lot of back and forth.
I'm gonna say some sacrilege here. Here we go.
Okay.
I love Revenge of the Sith. It is one of my favorite Star Wars movies. But if you look at it from a filmmaking, completely objective perspective,
why would you do that?
It is not that good of a movie. The dialogue is a little funky. The pacing is all over the place.
Yes, but this isn't as a good movie. This is as the best Star Wars movie.
Right. But all around, if you had to pick, like, on its merits as a film, Empire Strikes Back is the objectively correct answer.
I feel like there's not really an objective correct when it comes to a favorite.
True. I'm not saying favorite. I'm saying best. When somebody says this is the best movie, I would argue that from a writing perspective, from everything that comes together, Empire Strikes Back is going to be the best Star Wars movie. And here's the thing. I don't even like Empire that much. Like, I think it's in my top 5. It might be number 6. I don't know. I think it's like number 4. Because it's like Revenge of the Sith, Return of the Jedi, New Hope, Empire. Yeah. I like Return of the Jedi over Empire.
Okay.
So I'm not an Empire fanboy here. Although very beautiful moments, I will admit.
Oh God.
No, you're good.
I feel like I have to show this.
This is wrong. Oh. Actually, that's very true. The Holiday Special is objectively the best Star Wars movie, and I will be taking no criticism at this time. You want to clear a house, you put on the Holiday Special. You want to have a fun experience while partaking in illegal substances, watch the Holiday Special.
How about legal substances at the age of 21? Oh.
Nobody's going to get drunk and watch the Holiday Special.
You underestimate my power.
Only if it's like eggnog. If you're drinking eggnog at the holidays, you're like, let's watch the Holiday Special. Like, yeah, I can see that. But no, like, I'm not, like, here's the thing. I am a big fan of watching bad movies while boozing.
Okay.
But the Holiday Special is not one of them.
No?
No. Shout out to Velocipaster.
I'm sorry? What?
You've not heard of Velocipaster?
Dylan, we're watching some weird movies when I come down there. Like,
it's on Prime, so it's on Prime Video.
Oh no.
It is free.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this does not
Gabby.
bode well. This does not bode well for me.
All right, Gabby. You know what we need to do? Because I don't. Is that movie copyrighted?
I don't know.
I wonder if we could watch it on stream. If we would get in trouble for that.
Worst comes to worst, we'll do it as an event in the Discord. Even more reason to join the Discord. It's a lot of fun. Honestly,
Yes,
some of our best memes get posted in there, and we can watch
Discord.
movies as a movie night in there. The
We are
only
gonna
problem is
do.
we have to find a way to access the full holiday special, because
I think it's on YouTube.
I don't think it is.
I could have sworn I watched it on it like a year or two ago.
I mean,
Regardless, let us go ahead and end with our final thoughts on A New Hope. What's your final thought on A New Hope?
A New Hope is good.
I agree. I give it 5 Father's lightsabers out of 5.
Never mind. I just found the holiday special.
Yes.
It's an hour and a half.
I know what we're doing. Discord. How about this? When we get 100 members in the Discord, when we fill the OG 100, we will do a movie night and we will watch the holiday special.
And I will not be sober. I don't know how I can watch that otherwise.
I'm drinking straight eggnog and anyway, let us go ahead
some fun cocktail
and transition to
news and rumors.
Yep, let's transition to news and rumors. So,
okay, good. I have 27 posts.
I have one, maybe. Well, actually, no, I've got a couple. we probably have similar ones, but the one I want to talk about first is for those of you who have noticed, DK Audio Story Podcast has been popping up in our video mentions tonight, and that is because I wanted to give them a huge shout out because I will be joining them as a voice actor.
Woo!
So yeah, shout out to Decay. These guys are really cool, and I'm very excited. It is a sort of like a post-apocalyptic zombie story.
Okay.
And if you know me, I love zombies. So I am very much excited for this and very, very, very enjoyed. So
all right. Can you tell us a little bit more about them? Where can we find them? Are they in the Discord to advertise their stuff?
Yes, so
looking
we have
for more voice talent.
Yes, they are looking for more voice talent. They're also looking for, I believe, directors, editors. We're looking for a little bit of everything right now. So if you are interested in joining, definitely shoot us a message. We can add you to they have a channel on Discord on here, which I can actually post the link to in our Discord. So definitely check them out. Yes. Let me see if I can find. I'm looking at their server right now.
All right, and big congratulations on the role. I'm very, very excited for that.
Thank you. But yeah, anybody in here who's interested in trying their hand at voice acting, definitely come down and give it a go. So yes, we are looking for. We've got producers, I think, but yes, we're definitely looking for actors, but also looking for a little bit of everything. So,
all right, I definitely know some people.
Story writers, artists, editors. We're looking for a little bit of everything. So, come down and say hi. Right. I will post their Discord link in our server, and I will also probably put it up on our Instagram and my personal page as well. We're still very much in the early stages of like planning everything and building things out. So strike while the iron's hot. Come join. I'm very excited. So with that being said, I'll post that in a little bit. So Eli, what news and rumors do you have? Because I have one other that is Star Wars related.
So glad you asked. Firstly, As far as Thunderbolts news, Kevin Feige has reportedly said that the Thunderbolts roster will have characters that fans have not met yet. These characters will be introduced in the upcoming phase leading towards Thunderbolts. We know that Thunderbolts is, I believe, going to be the final project of Phase 6. Yes?
Phase 6. Interesting.
I believe so. I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that. Next up, we have She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Screenwriter Jessica Gao promises us many cameos and many new characters for the She-Hulk Attorney at Law series that have never existed in the MCU and will be pulled straight out of the comics. So be on the lookout for that.
That's interesting because they said there wasn't going to be a cameo every week, every type of week show. So that'll be very interesting.
Next up, we have some good news for DC. We actually have quite a bit of news for DC in this one.
Yes,
David Zaslav says they are setting up a team at DC with a 10-year plan with a significant focus on quality.
Yes, they scrapped the Batgirl movie.
They did scrap the Batgirl movie. I'm very sad about that.
Which was very disappointing to me. Yeah, because we're kind of catching up on last week's stuff. That was very upsetting when they scrapped Batgirl.
Oh, yes. I do have news on Batgirl, though. The Batgirl film is out, but Leslie Grace's character lives on. Leslie Grace will 100% still be the Batgirl of the DCEU in the near future. She just won't have a solo film. A direct quote from insiders of the cancellation articles say the studio loves the film's director and star and are actively planning to work with them again soon. Note how the quote says star, not stars, singular. Because this cancellation is not about Batgirl, it's about Keaton. One of the biggest critiques from the viewing audiences were that they didn't understand Michael Keaton in the movie because they were trying to replace Affleck as the new Batman. But as we saw with Ben Affleck showing up on Jason Momoa's Twitter page, Ben Affleck is back as Batman in Aquaman 2. And this is because we are going back to using Affleck as Batman, not Keaton. I'm very excited about that. Very excited. Next up, Moon Knight news. Moon Knight news.
I want to pause for.
Is there season 2? Why else would we be in Cairo?
Why else would we be in Cairo? Is there a season 2 of Moon Knight? Why else would we be in Cairo? From Oscar Isaac himself. This video has been circulating TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. I don't know how you haven't fucking seen it unless you're living under a rock. Like,
I'm not on Marvel TikTok.
Very excited about that. TikTok. So yes, we are getting season 2 of Moon Knight.
I was gonna give a shout out to oh yeah. Speaking of shows coming out very soon, Andor drops on September 21st.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Very excited.
Was that on your list? I think it was. We also got a teaser trailer for it, which was absolutely amazing.
No, I don't have Andor on here. It's a lot of Marvel. It's a lot of Marvel news. Holy shit!
I'm calling Stardust then, but no, it's yeah, Andor looks absolutely amazing. They just dropped a teaser trailer last week. It was one of the first things I saw. One of the few bits of news I saw besides while I was on vacation, other than Batgirl was canceled. So really good high news of Andor trailer. It's getting moved back 3 weeks for the release date, but we are getting three episodes. Which I'm okay with. I'm okay with, but I'm also like, dang. That's gonna be tough to watch. Excuse me, all 3 in one day.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big episode for us. Marvel has officially designated Secret Invasion as a crossover event. This is the first MCU Disney Plus series to be labeled as such.
Is it Disney? It's a Disney Plus series?
It is. Secret Invasion is a Disney Plus series.
But yeah. I also
Yeah.
wanted to touch on jump back to the Batgirl real quick. So
Mhm.
I was very upset when Batgirl was canceled. I'm not gonna lie. If you are in our Discord, you definitely heard some of my frustrations being vented out. I was very upset because I think this is a very huge missed opportunity for DC, especially with the fact that the movie is almost done. Like it was literally like in the final stages of post production, and they're just like, we're gonna cancel it." Oh, but we still like the director and the star. Here's the thing: if you say your universe is confusing, obviously we know that. Just release the movie anyway. Who cares? The Suicide Squad is confusing as to where it fits. Not everything has to be like Marvel. And here's the thing: I love the MCU. DC, it seems like they're just trying to recreate the MCU but with DC characters. And here's the thing: it's not a bad idea. I mean, we did a trial run in our Discord where I basically laid out my plans for DCU, and it basically followed the Marvel formula of, really getting all these solo characters movies and then releasing it. Although mine was a little bit different because I was going based off to kind of launch it off of the Batman,
Mhm.
but also having it in a very different style and tone than, each movie kind of having its own specific feel. And then when they come together, it having its own, feeling to it. But the fact that they go, okay, we're just gonna cancel Batgirl, I think is a huge missed opportunity because we would have gotten some very amazing representation in that movie, which is very much sorely lacking. And I think it's a bit of a misstep for DC to go, oh, we're gonna cancel it and we're just gonna write it off as a tax write-off. When the actress who was in the movie, what was her name again? Leslie. I can't remember
Leslie
her last.
Grace.
Leslie Grace. She already received so much backlash for even being in the movie when the promo things came out, where people came out and they called her a tokenized character and they said all these horrible, terrible things about her. And then to not even give her movie a chance to shine is kind of disappointing and kind of cowardly on behalf of DC, if I'm being completely honest. So,
Absolutely.
DC, do better.
Yeah, hit him with the same listen.
And release
Um,
Batgirl. Please, I really just wanted to see the movie. I wanted a Bat Family movie that doesn't revolve around Bruce fucking Wayne. Please,
um,
please, I beg of you.
next up, Shang-Chi and Captain Marvel will have big roles in Avengers Kang Dynasty.
Yes,
Minor piece of news,
stay
but
mad.
next up, Secret Invasion star Christopher McDonald reveals that Marvel Studios hired a new writer for the show's reshoot. Apparently, there's a new writer in there. He's amped it up, and the series is going so much deeper than before. Apparently, it's
What
going to have a
series?
very Secret Invasion. More Secret Invasion news. More and more news keeps dropping about this. It's supposed to have a very Civil War or Winter Soldier theme. It's going to be a little. It's going to be more serious. It's going to be a touch darker. It's going down that sort of path, and I'm excited
I
for that.
really hope they lean more to the Winter Soldier aspect than the Civil War aspect,
Or
because
no, I think I meant to say Civil or Winter Soldier.
yeah, I really hope they lean into that aspect because Winter Soldier is such a great movie, and the tension in that movie through and through is just amazing.
Oh yeah.
So it
Um.
would be really enjoyable to see more of that in the MCU, especially with all the scrolls, because they could be anyone. I mean, it's like Hydra, but 20 times worse. So where a scroll can be anyone versus Hydra is just some, just a bunch of white guys with funny haircuts.
Yeah.
Just a little Nazi
Oh,
joke for you, no big deal.
we have a little bit more. We have Eternals 2 news.
Really
In a
interesting.
recent interview, Patton Oswalt, who is playing Pip the Troll, uh, let loose this. It was announced that there will be a sequel to Eternals. Chloe Zhao will direct, so hopefully there will be more Star Fox and Pip adventures. To go alongside that, Harry Styles signed a 5-movie deal with Marvel worth about $100 million. So,
Interesting.
yeah. In addition to this, Shang-Chi director Destin Daniel Cretton will direct Avengers the Kang Dynasty. It will not be the Russo brothers.
Nice.
Oh,
I'm happy about that because I want to see other directors get a chance to direct some of these big Marvel movies. So I think that's a good thing.
let's see. Ooh, Kevin Feige teases the future of Peter Parker. Teacher and scientist are the ones that always stick with me because if he hadn't become Spider-Man, that's who he was anyway. So, I think that'd be interesting to see Peter slip into those roles. I think that would be really interesting. Let's see. Oh, the DCEU's Supergirl solo film starring Sasha Calle will reportedly not be moving forward over at Warner Brothers Discovery. Unfortunately, I feel like we kind of saw that one coming. Let's see what else. Madam Web news. That Sony TV show. In a new set photo from Madam Web, a newspaper reports a courageous man who saved a girl from a fire. It's on the same Daily Bugle logo from the Raimi series. What do we see Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man do in the Sam Raimi series, specifically Spider-Man 1?
Save a girl from a fire.
Yeah. But,
and an old lady.
Yes. What is it? Daredevil star Rosario Dawson may have teased that Jon Bernthal is coming back as the Punisher for a Marvel Studios project. So that'll be fun. The Suicide Squad star Idris Elba confirms that he is working on another project with DC, rumored to be the Bloodsport spin-off series. If it's anything like the Peacemaker series, that will be a very good time.
Yes, I agree.
Kevin Feige confirms that the Marvel Studios Fantastic Four reboot will not feature an origin story for the characters. Let's see.
And that's okay.
Let's see. What else? Oh, there's set photos circulating of Riri Williams' Ironheart in the Ironheart show, including the Ironheart armor, as well as evidently the villain for that one will be the Hood with, I believe it's Dominic Thorne.
Yes, I have to say, I did see those behind the scenes images, and let me just say, they look really good. Like the Ironheart suit looks amazing. The villain, the Hood, also looks amazing. So I'm very much excited for this one. I think Ironheart is going to be great, and I think it's really going to blow some people out of the water.
Oh yeah. So we've talked a lot about Giancarlo Esposito joining the Marvel Universe. He's revealed that he has had talks with Marvel Studios about a potential role. Quoting, "So there's been talk of Magneto. Who else are they talking about over there? Oh, Doom." That's all I got on that. John Wick director Chad Stahelski revealed that he spoke with Marvel Studios about directing Blade before Bassam Tariq came on board. So they almost had the John Wick director. And finally, some news that we should have been expecting for a good while. But Warner Brothers has confirmed that Ezra Miller will not be a part of any future DC projects.
Also, Ezra Miller was recently arrested on assault charges.
On a felony. So,
assault charge. So, we love to see it.
If they're going to move forward with releasing the movie who has a convicted felon as the lead.
Steve. Good call there. Yeah, let's release the movie with the felon, but God forbid
Cancel
we do the one
Batgirl.
with the woman of color. Yeah. Sheesh.
Oof.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Tell us how you really feel, Disney.
little rant.
Your white hood's peeking out your back pocket there, buddy boy.
But
Chapek. That's the DC guy, right? Bob Chapek, I think is his name.
no, that's the Disney guy. But we also want Chapek dead. So,
We don't want him dead. We just want him removed from power.
I want him hurt really bad. Anyway,
We want him removed from power.
we do want him removed from power. 1 second, babe. What do we want done to Chapek?
I don't want him to work there anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
Good answer. Good answer. Something Ezra Killer did, and I would probably believe it. I don't know if that was a typo or intentional, but I will now be calling them Ezra Killer.
Ezra Killer. Oh boy.
Also,
Well,
there was a video that circulated about them from a couple years ago where they were like calling out the Klan in like North Carolina or something.
what do you mean by the Klan?
Like the Klan, like Pointy Hood Clan, like Bernie Torch Clan. Like he was basically like, I'm in your city and come F around and find out. Menace to society behavior. So, dang it. A person I really dislike made a good point. I'm not typically the enemy of my enemy type, but
Well,
it's right. At least twice a day.
on that weird little note, I believe it's time to end things for tonight. But
Absolutely.
it's been an excellent stream. I've enjoyed it. I hope you all have enjoyed it as well. That being said,
happy to be back. Now I gotta go watch Eli play Republic Commando.
Oh boy, it's a wild time. We only made it through the first act. There are still 2 acts left.
Yeah. Well,
Eventually I'll
saw
finish it.
at one point where I joined at one point and literally all that was happening was like you died. Like I joined it and I was like, oh, can't wait to watch the stream. And then Eli just died. And I was like, this is going very well as I can see.
Heads up, the first video, there's no audio for like the first 10 to 15 minutes.
Oopsie doopsie.
And then I figure it out.
That is my bad. I didn't have headphones.
Hey, it happens.
No, there wasn't audio.
Yeah, but I didn't know because I was just sitting in here listening.
Oh,
and I
right.
didn't have my headphones on.
Yeah, we found out that StreamYard is not the optimal platform for streaming video games. So when I do it in the future, it will indeed be on Twitch. Just need to get my branding together, and we'll get that on up there.
Hey, but before we go, one more call to action. Don't forget, like the video, comment down below. We've given you a couple comment props. If not, comment just something random. Say like, hey, the sky was blue today. And if you comment that, it means you made it this far in the video, and that means you're a pretty cool person. Also, don't forget, subscribe to Under the Helmet Podcast.
You could comment and tell Dylan who his hair makes him look like.
The trial and error phase. We're working with it. We are learning. I've never had hair in my life.
Am I allowed to tell them? Am I allowed to tell them?
He says I look like the Zodiac Killer.
No, I said you look like Ted Cruz.
What's the difference?
Oh, that's a fair point. I want to be more specific.
And with that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a good night, and we will see you next time on Under the Helmet Podcast.